Good morning, everyone. My name is Amol Nirgudkar. I'm the CEO of Patient Prism. We're here live at Patient Prism Studios at Dykema, the largest DSO event this year. Truly excited to be here. And I have the honor and the pleasure of welcoming somebody who I've admired from a distance for a very long time, Mike Augins. And I have admired you from a distance, and you may not know this. Every Serrano World I went to, was the most fascinating experience of my life. And I always asked, who puts this together? And I always knew it was you. And so I always had this, I'm like, how does he manage to put an event of this magnitude with Katy Perry and these Imagine Dragons and everybody else? And I was just mesmerized of how many people you got excited about dentistry at one time, in one place, whether it was Vegas or in Orlando. And so welcome. It's an honor to be sitting next to you.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and thank you for having me.
You recently, about a year ago, I think, you and Rezwan Manji, you guys started an amazing DSO called Imagen Dental Partners. And by the looks of it, you are one of the fastest growing DSOs out there in the country.
Things are going pretty well, so we're excited about that.
So tell us a little bit about what Imagen is and why are you growing this fast?
I think the reason why Imagen is growing is because we occupy a unique niche that we think nobody else does. And so I spent my career in dentistry really working with doctors that leverage the power of technology and education to grow their practices. And I came from the technology side. Of course, Rez was the president of Spear, came from the education side. And we wanted to create a group that really was attractive to those doctors. And so to do so, we spoke with the doctors that we were affiliated with, and they really told us that there were 3 core differentiators that were missing and the reason why they didn't join other groups.
Right.
They said, we want clinical autonomy. We don't want a group telling us how to do dentistry.
Absolutely.
Right? We want aligned economic interests. So we don't want to be employees. We want to be owners.
Absolutely.
Right? And we want a culture where we can do what's right for the patient, right? And that we put patients before profits, or we can maintain the culture of the practice, right? And so it's really that simple, right? Most of the dentists in the technology community didn't believe that other groups out there had those 3 attributes. So in creating Imagen, and there's more to it than that,
right.
But in creating Imagen, we really wanted to create a group that embraced those 3 core philosophies, give total clinical autonomy to our clinicians, have total alignment and interest, so our doctors are owners in their practices, they're also owners in Imagen, and then put the patient at the center of everything that we do.
It's easier said than done, though, right? Mm-hmm. It's easier. Everybody talks about it, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, we grant clinical autonomy, but obviously, since Rez came from Spear, one of the things we've known this, right? Been in industry for so long that, yes, financial independence, monetary compensation is important, but for doctors, really their clinical excellence matters to them. Their path of are they moving up in that journey to become a better doctor matters. How are you giving them that path, given the Spear background of giving these doctors who are joining you? Some of them might be new, some of them might have new practice within 5 years. How are you giving them the tools and is that helping you recruit more people?
Well, that's so we started, whenever we go into a new geography, our first partner is a KOL in that geography, and that's really important.
Nice.
So we bring in a position which we call the clinical leader of that geography.
Okay.
And they are a known KOL in the technology community.
Nice.
People like Rich Rosenblatt or Meena Barsoom or Mona Patel or Shivi Gupta or Tony Hatch or Michael Schneider. All people that would be doctors who would be known in the technology community for the education they've provided, and CEREC doctors, mentors, DS World main stage speakers. And so before we go into a geography, they're our first partner. And the reason why is because they sign on to be the educator and mentor for that geography. So we start with an educator at the center They run a study club network for our doctors, but we also supplement that with a complement of education that's unparalleled in the DSO space. So every doctor at Imagen is in the Spear Mentor Group. They are CDOC's mentors. They get everything online that Spear does. They have we send every doctor to DS World. You can go to any course in the clinical accelerator program. So we invest more in our doctors' education than other DSOs do. And then when associates come to Imagen, we give them what we call a pathway to partnership.
Yeah.
So we provide them education, and then if they grow with us after 3 years of growing and meeting both their doing the education, proving their clinical skills, meeting their production goals, and proving out their leadership abilities, then they get the opportunity to own Imagen practice as well. So we'll invest in a de novo practice with them as an owner. And so it's a different model for them because they can grow into ownership.
I mean, I think this could be the most important model from a clinician standpoint, because I've talked to thousands of doctors, and one of the things they absolutely desire, yes, they do want to make money. All of us do, right?
Of course.
But they do want to be better at their art and their trade, and giving them that that leader, that anchor in that community that they can call upon, even for whatever questions. Sometimes it's just, okay, well, I don't know how to treatment plan this, or I need help in diagnosing better. I need help in case presentations, or I need whatever that might be. That support group is right there in the local community, which is, again, super unique, right? Question to you is the third piece, which is the culture piece, you said. Now, how do you, if you have all these chiefs everywhere, chief here, chief here, chief here, so who's the Indian?
So what we want is we partner very specifically with already successful partners,
right,
and we provide them with a business coach and a clinical coach. But they remain the chief of their own practice, right? They are the CEO of the practice.
Sure.
They own 40% of the practice, so they're economically aligned. But they make the decisions in their practice. And so we maintain their branding. There is no Imagen practice, right? So if you were...
It's like the Heartland.
It's like Heartland, or it's like... So, well, you can... Yeah, it's like Pacific, where... And so you'll never go to a practice named Imagen, right? It is Impressive Smiles, or it is Bayshore Dental, or it is, Cambridge Dental Group.
But how do you bring the entire group together? Clinically, absolutely, understand that but how do you bring the entire group? As you grow, you'll be at hundreds of offices in the next few years. How do you get them culturally aligned to believe in the same set of core values? From a non-clinical perspective.
So we have a set of core values that everybody signs up for when they join, and those are published and they sign up for. But they also have the same educational system. They also have the same business system. They also have the same analytics system. So one, you fit into. You sign up for our group because you fit in the community and you believe in our core values. And then two, we have business processes, educational processes that help to create alignment. But I would describe us more like luxury hotels of the world, where you have all types of distinctive brands that use similar processes but maintain a very similar, unique core identity. Then like a Marriott or a Ritz-Carlton, where you know exactly what you're going to get. We are a house of brands, not a branded house.
Interesting. But at the end of the day, you're still believing in your mission, your vision, your core values are aligned across all offices,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
We believe in cleanliness, for example. That may not be, but that's across everybody.
We believe in putting the patient at the center of everything we do. We believe in the power of education. We believe in leveraging the highest technology. We believe in practicing at the highest end of the dental license. There's a list of values that everybody has to believe in to be part of.
And that's interesting, because I think this model has a lot of traction because of the way dentists think. And I think there's going to be a lot of, I'm interested to see how it explodes in the industry, because there has been a need for a model like yours. I think there'll be people who emulate you, which is good.
Of course.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Of course.
But how has this model helped you come through the pandemic, and has it really gotten, after people join you, do they see same-store growth at a better pace because now they have all this support systems, education, all this stuff? Are they seeing better growth? Are they seeing higher case acceptance? Are they seeing all that stuff?
Absolutely. Let me answer those questions separately.
Okay.
So the pandemic, actually, by virtue, I mean, we were, I'll just say, fortunate with our timing in the pandemic.
Right.
We were born in the midst of the pandemic, and for us, the pandemic may have actually been a tailwind because it forced dentists to think about their future and to recognize that without the power of a group that you're on your own, and there's some riskiness in that.
Right.
And so it may have made dentists actually more likely to want a partner. And we've heard that. So it may have actually been fortuitous in some ways, at least in the sense of, I need an exit strategy, I do have some risk, what would happen if?
Right.
The second question, I think, is more long-term because I think that people's memories are short.
Right,
Business
right.
is good again, right? The pandemic,
forget.
hopefully next year, the pandemic will be less of a topic because business will be back to normal. We hope. I mean,
Right. I hope so too.
yeah, God willing, it will be, right? So but going forward, like one of the main reasons why people join us is our focus on helping them grow their practice.
Correct.
And we do that in a number of ways. And so we build a very robust business plan for each of our practices.
Okay.
We call it a growth plan. And it's very formulaic, but a lot of it is around clinical expansion, helping them to develop their associates, helping them to look at what insurance plans they take and what fees they charge, and are you optimizing your cost structure, and are you leveraging the buying power of a larger group, and there's many elements of that.
Right.
But to date, if you normalize for COVID, our practices are up same store 31%, which is
That
far
is
better
crazy.
than what
You don't
any
even
of
tell
them
me.
were doing,
I
right?
come
Yeah.
from a CPA world.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
spent
yeah.
all my life in looking at financial statements of dental practices.
Yeah.
31% same-store growth is outrageously amazing.
Yeah, so that's been terrific. I just want to say, some of that may have been COVID tailwind.
Right.
So there may have been pent up demand. Our goal is to grow practices top line at 15%, and we feel confident we have systems in place to achieve that goal.
I mean, at a 15% compounding rate, you can just imagine the value of what you're going to bring to the table for the 40% guys.
Oh, absolutely.
It is the second bite of the apple is going to be multitude of the first bite of the apple.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty of it, right? So I mean, we show them what it means if we grow them 15%, and we show them what it means if we grow them at half that, and we show them how the value of what the partnership could be, of course, but. Yeah, it's tremendous. So if you grow at 15%, and of course you have the background, right? You're more than doubling in every 5 years,
Absolutely.
and it can be tremendously powerful. But there are people that say, well, I'm going to cap out of growth, but our largest practice that we've partnered with to date is a gentleman named Michael Snyder, and with 2 doctors in South Carolina, he was doing $3.5 million before we partnered, and he's on track to do well over $4.5 million this year.
Wow.
So we think that we can help a practice of any size grow sustainably.
From the ground up, too. From the ground up. It's not
yeah,
just
yeah.
tactics. It's really strategy.
Yeah, strategy, and growth is formulaic, right? So you can look at how do I increase patients, and there's a whole system around how do I increase patients. How do I increase case acceptance? There's a whole system around how do I increase case acceptance. How do I expand the number of procedures I do in my office? How do I layer on an itinerant specialty strategy? There are so many ways that you can drive growth, so I think one of the ways that we deliver value is we help dental practitioners think about growth as a process rather than just an outcome of
Okay,
happens
let me go buy the
haphazardly.
CERC machine,
Yeah,
or let me
yeah.
go buy the cone beam machine.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not a tactic-driven thing.
Yeah.
It really is. My little experience with you guys, I was dealing with one of your regional COOs, or regional operators, and just the way you handled dealing with us was so process-driven. There was an RFP, there was a question and answer, you have this incredible process, and I appreciated that. I spoke to the lady at your organization and said, man, you operate like a Fortune 500 company. and you just start. So you're basically applying those principles of building great systems, implementing great processes, using a formula to have predictable growth.
Yeah.
And I think that is definitely a model that I'm excited to see, and how and hopefully we get an opportunity to look inside it even more.
Absolutely.
As we go along. Mike, it's been a pleasure. It really is. I've been a big fan, and I'm looking forward to learning more and visiting you guys and really learning more about this, because I think the message needs to go out there to everybody of what you're doing is absolutely the most unique thing I've heard in the DSO space, hands down.
Thank you for that, and thank you for having me today.
Thank you.
We appreciate all you do for dentistry. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.